it's also, you be patient with me because I'm going to try to say it right, and I'm probably going to fail, but just hear me out. You can tell that these people texting Diddy, the things that we've seen so far, because the trial hasn't even started yet, so the things haven't even come out that are the things that people are worried about. Because trust me when I tell you, Diddy, the Black Epstein, they already put that dude on watch. But you can tell that he was a terror to so many people for so long, and it's indicative of how we don't believe and protect each other.
Anything else?
It's really important that we do. Someone like Diddy is a prime example. When someone comes to you and they tell you that something happened,
things at once.
not only do you need to hear them out, you need to listen to what they're saying, but you also need to, with them, try to find a place where they feel comfortable to tell you more, and what can be done about what they're telling you. Because sometimes people tell you something, they don't know what else to do, so they tell you, and they're like, don't tell anybody, don't do anything.
Stream from
and I'm not saying you should disrespect the person's wishes, I'm just saying that on top of that, you really have to talk it out with them and be like, are you sure you don't want me to do anything? You don't think there's any recourse? You don't think, let me bring you options. Let me try to help you through this thing, right?
So
you don't do a good job of believing women, but I'm telling you this, and I know it's not going to sound right when it first hits your ears, but please hear me out. We also need to do a much better job of believing them. Because it's not easy at all. It's one of the scariest things that a person can do to come forward as a survivor of anything that's happened to them. And when a woman comes forward and people do the thing, we already know what they're going to do. There's almost a playbook online of how they're going to treat her, what people are going to say, what's going to happen if there's a trial, why now, they just want money, all the things. They never fail, right? But when a dude comes forward, you got to remember, this dude was probably willing to take that to the grave. And then something happened where he was like, no, I got to say something, right? There's so many people who would rather die than have people find out what happened to them. So they tell you, you gotta believe. So many people are letting the fact that Diddy's bi overshadow the fact that he's a monster. That's what's crazy to me, is that it's like, oh man, Diddy was over here trying to kiss the back of the dude's neck. It's like, yeah, did you mean assault him? Yeah, I know.
I am my own worst enemy.
I think that's why I'm so thankful for the era that we're in now, of people being able to find things on the internet, just at large. I know the internet's a big place. I know there's a lot of artists, a lot of creatives and everything, but the fact that it's now more than ever in the hands of the people as far as creativity goes and as far as like putting your work out there goes, it's a beautiful thing, because one of the reasons that people like Diddy were able to prevail for so long is because they had something. They had something that they could hold over people. They had power. They had money. They had access to getting your work out there. And so people, let people like Diddy manipulate and put them in situations they would never be in otherwise, right? But he had the power of a label. One of the best things that Cassie's lawyers did with that lawsuit was implicate all the labels. They didn't just sue him as like Sean Combs. They were like, no, I'm suing everybody. I'm suing the whole thing. The whole thing's connected. Because you use the thing to manipulate. You don't just walk into a room like, I'm Sean Combs. Everyone get naked. That's what Louise did. You use the language. You use the fact that you people. You use the fact that they're waiting on you.
No. I want to go to my me time. Okay, you can go back to your me time. Okay.
And one of the main things that I can't stop thinking about is how there's so many times, there's so many points in time. Different if he had just gone to jail.
No, come here.
The other times he was supposed to go to jail. think back, way back. Diddy and Diddy and J Lo they were like a hot couple, you know. They were always in the tabloids and stuff, and everybody was following around. I remember, I can't remember if it was the VMAs or the BET Awards, but she went to some award show with a dress that had everybody.
Why? Like this.
Crazy outfit. She became this hit girl and everything. And she was dating Diddy at the time. And they went to
give him copious amounts of melatonin at night,
to this nightclub,
or else nobody sleeps.
I don't really know the circumstance of the fight start, but somebody got in a fight with Diddy, right? And it's hard to tell when you in a fight.
No, you stupid charger.
I've been to nightclubs before. I know it don't seem like it, but I've been to nightclubs before, and I've almost had some altercations at nightclubs. Not even because I meant to. I was just in there, just walking, having a good time, and then maybe somebody's yelling at you. Maybe they're trying to get your attention. Maybe they're trying to fight you. It's hard to tell all that stuff from regular dancing at a nightclub. Because when you see people dance at a nightclub, depending on who it is, they look like they're in their own fight. They look like they're in a battle with the rhythm. They look like they're taking swings at the melody. So it's hard to know that they want to fight you. You know, and then people yell at a nightclub, and yelling is how you talk. It's so loud in here. Like I was in a nightclub one time. I was walking and I must have like stepped on this guy's shoe or something. I didn't mean to. And he was yelling at me, trying to get my attention. And I just turned around and I was like, hi. And that didn't do me any favors, right? Because I really didn't hear him, but leaning over and being like, ha, that's just offering up my face for the punching.
Let's see. Article.
And so Diddy got into some altercation with some dude, and no one knows everything that was said, but it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of like, well, I make money too and everything. And then apparently he grabbed some money and threw it in Diddy's face, right?
I'm so tired.
This is the way I'd like to imagine, because apparently it flew up in the air, and I think the only way that could happen is if he had the money, balled up in that roll of money, right? And that roll of money that you just keep together with a thin rubber band, right? So that way when it hits something, the whole thing explodes. And he's like, I make money too. Threw it and it hit Diddy on the head and just, wow. It started to rain, right?
Say yes.
And so then,
strand expand
allegedly
through the
pulls the gun
extremes.
out, right? Starts firing off at this dude, okay? And
do it
whole like gunfight and
when you're scared.
And that was one of the wildest nights.
Do it when you're tired.
Diddy and J-Lo were not quite.
Do it when you don't know what you're doing.
Because they were still like partying, hip hop, everything, but they were this in couple, and now this horrible thing
Silver lining.
They were at the center.
Relief. Hope.
And there was even a whole trial, and at the trial, J-Lo testified that she only saw Shine pull out a gun. Now, Shine, if you don't remember, was a rapper who was popping at the time.
I'm tired because
And
it's
he
the end
went
of
to
the day.
jail by himself.
I made it through another day. It's over.
Diddy didn't go to jail, and there was even
And if you made it here,
named Natanya
you made it through another day too.
And Natanya Rubin has said many times, she never stopped saying it, that she saw Diddy pull his gun. And she knows that Diddy pulled his gun because Diddy struck her in the face. And he survived and everything, but she didn't get any media attention or anything. And then, publications just ran with the fact that J-Lo said Shine did it, and that was enough. Shine was guilty. He was off to jail. But even to this day, Natanya Rubin is like,
remember your roots,
I'm right here.
Perspective, trust the movements.
And she had her surgery and everything, and I mean, to a certain degree, I watched her. She did an interview recently, and you can't really tell, but she says she lives with that pain because there are fragments that they couldn't get out, right? And she's like, you need to reopen the case. I want justice.
Even slaves took a rest.
And the journalist asked her, would you be willing to give one of the fragments and like
even
do the
slaves
forensic test and everything, because they didn't do one apparently. And she said, yeah, of course. I got 9 fragments I can spare.
Maybe a little.
did he in? Really, truly, from his own nature, from his own core, for money, power, and fame. Right? And money, power, and
take
fame,
away from that.
Dangerous combination.
Don't give
Messes
up.
up a
You
lot
can't
of
hear
people.
me. Care.
Money,
Don't
because
care. I'm talking at the volume that I'm comfortable at. Okay.
this is what trajectory of money does in the mind. When you have no money, and you just imagine having some money, that's even enough money. When you have
Wherever
no
Alex
money,
is.
you're like, man, it'd be nice to eat.
Streamlabs is a superior.
The money for the meal in front of you is all you need in your mind.
Streaming
It's why people who are desperate, truly desperate, walk up to you and they don't ask for everything that they need. They ask for what they need to get by. They ask for change. They ask for the next thing that they need. Because money changes perspective. The more of it that you get, the more you become not necessarily an insane person.
With the streaming stuff.
But your ideas, your wants and needs, they start to
creativity,
shift, and they
ideas,
usually at a certain amount of
inspiration,
money
artist, writer, channel.
Why do you think all the billionaires are trying to go to space?
It's just another channel.
They're like,
it's just another way
I did everything in here.
for me
What's up
to
there?
express myself.
That'd be nice.
How can I be wrong when I'm expressing myself?
Money messes with your mind, and then sometimes you think, man, if I had enough money for this thing, oh, I'd be so good, I'd be so benevolent, and maybe you would, but maybe you wouldn't. Maybe having that money and getting attached to it so tight that I don't really want to have less than. I don't know anyone working in America that's willing to get paid less. We all have, and some human nature, we all have a little upward mobility thinking about what's next.
Positive outlook.
I'm not saying that's wrong at all. I'm saying at a certain amount of money, you just lose your mind.
Trying something new.
I mean, power. Money and power, they get people to do some of the same things. Money, I'll give you an example. I was in Vietnam a little while ago, right? And
I guess you could say I'm trying something new.
Which is their currency, right? One of our dollars is about, at least at the going rate right now, currency exchange wise, is about $24,200. So if you go there with your yearly salary, you are a billionaire in dollars. And we look at our billionaires a certain type of way. We look at them and it's like, why is this piece of shit hoarding all this wealth?
Bring me back
Does he have his mind? Does he not know how many people he could help? This is crazy.
The old days of yore.
And then you talk to a billionaire and they're like, oh yeah, well I had this idea.
The old days of me going live.
So just do that. It's like, we're dying. Why would you? No one cares about space.
Back when I used to do it.
Why are you hoarding all of it? And then
all the time.
Even in like a billionaires, I listen to the audiobooks I like to read about. I want to know a billionaire's life, but to read it and learn it all slow feels upsetting.
Before streaming was a thing.
Just let someone tell me so I can feel like I'm talking to a friend. Like, what? You know what I mean?
You know, I didn't know that.
A little bit smoother of a process, but you talk about, like a billionaire and the way
when
that
I went online
about us is insane.
For hours at a time.
There are even billionaires that they've said it.
In the early 2020s.
Levels of like loose-lipped.
That I was streaming.
And there are billionaires that have properly said to a camera that they knew was recording.
Trying to keep my.
If people knew how good my life was, they would bring back the guillotine. That's what he says.
But yeah.
And then you hear other billionaires tell it, and they're like, if people are too dumb or too lazy or too scared to take a chance to make money, that's on them. The way that they think about us is insane.
The recordings.
But then, you see an American
on my Patreon and on my Facebook.
Maybe somebody from Australia go to Vietnam and be a billionaire.
All the way back to 2020.
How many people turn into our billionaires there?
There'll be
I watched it. I was in the market, right? And there was this British lady,
random,
that was trying to haggle
streams of me
with this woman who had made this like
being
homemade, like knitted little bag, right?
Magically
and
caught by inspiration.
Like, I don't know, maybe like $5,000.
And I just had to sit down and turn on the camera.
Now remember, I told you $1 was $24,000.
Because what else was I going to do?
This lady is actually probably like haggling with her, like being like, "What about 4,000?" She's like, "No, 5." So what about 475? No, 5. And she doesn't know much English, and the British lady is getting annoyed with her, and I'm getting furious because I'm like, "You realize the pound is doing better than the dollar, so you're just haggling. Like, what if I gave you nothing? Would nothing be good? What about nothing? You would love nothing, though. Like, if I gave you nothing, that made me feel better as I left." And this person is a billionaire, at least right now.
And this time, it's not going to be because of
like only a broke person would go somewhere else and then try to be rich really hard.
It's going to be because of violence.
I don't know why you front.
Which
You know
is
you can only afford the flight. I don't know why you acting like this right now. Acting like these people are trying to cheat you out of something. You know you already have a leg up. It's crazy. But it is how billionaires think sometimes. Because then, when we work at a corporation, there's $1 billion. Maybe if you work at Apple, Amazon, you work at one of the trillions. That is that's about to hit the trillions of dollars, right? And then you want a raise. You want a substantial raise. And it's nothing for them. Because they have billions of dollars. And they're still like, why should we give you anything? It's the same mentality, right? And so Diddy had money, and he had the type of money that makes people do things, bend to your will.
It'll be a lot like what's happening in Haiti.
He had power. And this is the thing about power. I'm someone who wants very little power. Because I don't know, I can think about what I might do, but I don't know what I would do with power.
Happening
That's terrible.
in
Don't
Seattle.
give me power. If I had the power to make Ted Cruz punch himself in the balls.
Was only so far back you can push the desperate have-nots.
Whether it was like X-Men mind control or
juxtaposition
like, or if I had enough money that he would do it. Like, if I could make Ted Cruz punch himself in the balls non-stop, his balls would never rest. I would go overboard.
The only way to win this war is to not be desperate.
And Diddy had lots of power. He had power, he had influence, and he used all of it to garner more and to truly hurt people. He didn't care who he hurt. You can see it when you read the indictment. And he did it for long as well. And then
the only way to win this war
fame
is to have
you can't actually control, especially now. There are people that want to be very famous.
Good control of their emotions.
And then there are people who don't need to be famous at all. But then someone's just recording.
That's coming out of
me. And then a TikTok is made. Like,
doesn't mean you can't have passion. It just means
there are people who become famous overnight and all they did was trip.
You have to have caution.
That's too random. Fame is the one that gets away from you. Money, you can decide how much money you want to keep, how much money you want to make, especially if you have the means to just be making boatloads of money. You can take a step back and be like, a lot of money is enough money. I don't need all the money. Power,
a lot of money is enough money. I don't need all the money. A lot of money is enough money. I don't need all the money. Said no billionaire ever.
Really. There are plenty of people that the industry has tried to make famous, and we were like, nah. People with power, people with money, they can promise fame, even if they can't deliver. And because they have so much money and so much power, it looks like they can give you fame. Because that's another way that Diddy manipulated and abused people, was through his fame and the promise of fame that was to come to them, right? And money, power, and fame is actually what screwed Diddy, not just his own.
So smart.
The fact that he finally met up.
He has also seen a lot of shit.
No government is more powerful with more money or more fame.
tone is the tone of somebody who has been beaten down again and again and again and again and again and again. He has nothing left inside.
Money, power, and fame of the U.S. government. The money that they have. You think you have money? They can freeze your money. You can show up to court.
You cannot trap him with something that he has never had.
Oh, I'm sorry. You thought you had money? Oh, I feel terrible for you. It must suck to be broke.
Not if you figure out how to make money without having to be famous.
Power? Federal government power. Look at the conviction rate of federal prosecutors. It's in the 90s for a reason.
Because most of us
people either plead out or they
are making money
to be vindicated in court. And the U.S. government is like, I bet you won't.
Not to be lavish, to be comfortable. And sometimes comfort can look like lavishness.
The government is more famous, especially as far as their judicial system. What government is more famous than the U.S. government? You know? They looking at Diddy right now and, oh, he blew up Kid Cudi's car.
Deserve to be comfortable.
We killed MLK.
We all deserve to experience lavishness. We don't deserve to hoard it and keep it to ourselves forever and ever. Amen. You're not supposed to live that way every single fucking day.
And Malcolm X. No.
And there was people his own color.
No, you're done, bro. No. It's over. So I think about how does a person become that evil? I mean, that's a lot of it is ego. Ego is a dangerous thing. Ego is like a dish that only feeds you false fruit, right? And the more that you eat off of your own ego, the more you starve your spirit. Like it's the way to sickness, you know. And ego is this like still small voice, right, telling
of success.
The most important thing is like ego stands in like the middle of pride, right?
I see.
But then when things happen, when consequence comes, ego never shows up. Ego is like a
people
friend
that do what I
ego's like a friend that's
love
like,
looking at do.
Doors unlocked.
I think the type of success
well, let's just see what's inside. There might be some good stuff in there. It's like, that's not my house. Come on.
Experience is not the kind of success that I want to experience.
Some shiny stuff, and then you start grabbing stuff, and then before you know it, you see blue and red lights. And you're like, come on, we gotta get
because everybody starts out grassroots and
I think about how it got here, you know,
like
and how many people did he hurt and why he was allowed to get away with it for so long. And I can't help but think that a lot of what he was allowed to get away with was because it happened to black women.
The events
you know what I mean?
Slowly and surely become more and more.
They don't mean that black women can't protect themselves. We mean that you look at the stats and you look at who the powerful people hurt because they know that they can do it. It's the same people.
Farther, more expensive. Fancy.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I
writers' retreats.
Gives life. And I hope he lives
forever. What is a non-profit doing going on a fucking retreat? Like, what are you doing? What are these retreat fucking people like doing? Like, what are you doing? There are people like quite literally starving here.
You have seen him everywhere, but tonight you are seeing him live.
In
Please put your hands together for Josh Johnson.
people are going on retreats
Sometimes I find myself falling down
to recharge.
rabbit holes online with things, stories and stuff. And
I've been going to shore.
there's a case, there's a trial. It just ended. And I think they qualify for trial of the century. I know that's premature to say.
No, nigga, I don't have a passport.
But I don't know. I think it's pretty incredible. The trial.
You know how many people go their entire lives without having a whole fucking passport? Do you know?
Just ended. Now, if you don't know who Young Thug is, he's a rapper. It's not a dog whistle this time.
Do you know how many people are not allowed legally to leave the country? Do you know?
Young Thug is a rapper
My
that
mom's
was
one
on
of them.
trial in Fulton County in Georgia, right? Basically,
Fuck
the
you and your
state's case,
passport.
what they were alleging was that he took all of the money that he made from music and he funneled it through and to a gang called YSL, a gang that he was supposedly the leader of, right? And that's the state's case. And the judge in the case looked exhausted.
I gotta be careful and not fall into the whole of black elitism.
Like this before. Every time the court camera cut
because that
to
really
her,
does
her head
seem
was
to
in
be
her
like
hands.
what people are trying to get to. Like they're not trying to like get free. Like they're trying to reach the elite. And I don't want to be fucking elite. I want this all to be elite.
So I know you can sustain.
I want elitism to not be a fucking thing.
And you can object.
I don't want to look at somebody and be like, oh, you could never.
She said it.
Well, why can't they? Why can't you help them?
And now the prosecution in the case, the prosecutor had given out a lot of plea deals. Ton of plea deals. More plea deals than I thought you could
all
give
these
out.
Events
I
you
had a
have to
number in my head, but this
RSVP
felt
to.
like an egregious
All these events that you have to get
It just felt like she was going to the hood, like you get a plea deal, you get a plea deal, you get a plea deal, you get a plea deal. She was basically giving a plea deal to everybody in Georgia but Young
What are we
Thug,
doing?
right? And she was giving these plea deals in return for their cooperation, their testimony that she would use to piece by piece paint the bigger picture that the state was alleging that Young Thug's the leader of YSL. Everything they do is by his direction. All his money goes through and to them, right? And the only problem is the prosecutor in this case gave plea deals to some of the least helpful people in human history. I've never seen people less helpful than this. It was astoundingly unhelpful. I was helping my friend move one time. And he and I had to move a pool table. Just us. Downstairs.
And like the only way for me
and our third friend was there at the bottom of the stairs just watching.
Is to
and even he was more helpful than anyone that the prosecutor gave a plea deal to in this case.
Like I could
at least he could be like, watch your step, watch your step, something.
Find a way into one of these.
I'm gonna need you to be patient with me because
fancy high rises with my voucher.
A lot of people testified in this trial are going by their rapper name and they haven't made it yet.
In
so
a
I don't
community
know.
that needs help continuously.
I don't know why it's spelled like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Just I'm gonna say he for short. All right. There's one dude that was on the stand, right? And the prosecutor asked a very specific question, very specific reason. She goes, "Did Young
the more successful you become, the more unattainable
right?
you become."
Now,
what the fuck is that?
Rich Homie Quan is also a rapper who has sadly passed away, but his friend, to the best of my knowledge, allegedly is a gang member, right? This whole question is to paint Young Thug as the leader of a gang. That's why he would have a problem with a different gang member coming to his party.
I think
right?
that's what
so
I actually meant in the post that I wrote.
Rich Homie Quan bringing his friend to the party. And then this guy on the stand goes, Doug, did you have an issue with Rich Homie Quan?
Let me find it. I said, all the poetry events I want to go to are hella far away from me and take much energy to get to. I live in Madison
Never
Park.
in the history of court.
Everything happens in the city and further south, like not even downtown. How am I supposed to get to Rainier, Redmond, Skyrange, Coleman, SeaTac, West Seattle without spending hundreds I don't have in Uber fees and spending 2 to 3 hours in traffic on public transportation? And trying to pull together an open bank event the way I want where I live would take an effort I don't have in me.
I'm not young though, so I don't know.
Doing the one I did was frustrating and exhausting. I would need a moment's notice for childcare. Trying to succeed as a single mother and a creator seems so impossible. I know it isn't, but it feels like
question after question after question, all alleging the same thing, all to the same end, right? And this dude,
it's because they make it
he's not being combative, he's not being rude, he's just not being helpful. And so then the prosecutor,
they make it impossible.
Like they do it on purpose. His plea deal, where she goes, I have right here, you answering questions definitively that I'm asking you right now. And then this guy.
It's like once people reach a certain level of fame.
Y'all wrote that, I just signed it.
They don't want to be. They don't want to be. They don't want.
Never in the history of court
to deal with.
At least that I know.
Bottom feeders anymore. It's unsightly to have people that don't have IDs and passports and fancy clothing at your venue.
If these were like some of the dumbest people who had ever lived,
and it's so fucking
legal masterminds. Because basically what this dude is saying in open court, right, is
like I'm never going to be.
You're about to give me how many years? I want
that,
you
like
how
the
many
one,
years?
The one gala that
years, right?
I read.
So I signed the paper, but I'm not about to perjure myself.
On that was fancy or whatever. I was so out of my depth. I was so sweaty the entire time.
This dude was supposed to be on the stand for 3 hours. 3 days later.
A text message from this very old man that
question after question after question, all to the same
I should not have slept with him.
And you know, references again. Look, I understand that we typed it up, but what is in this is based off of what you said to the police.
Really
this
nice.
is based off of testimony you gave during interrogation. And he was like, yeah, but if you gave it to me to type up, it would say something different than what you have right there. Right. Even the prosecutor was like, oh.
I have a lot of issues. Like the longer you hear it, the more you'll understand how many issues I have.
Question after question after question after question. And finally this dude, he doesn't snap.
I have a lot of them.
He doesn't lose it, right?
I
he just gets exhausted. And finally he says,
this
look,
to
I'll tell you what I told the police.
Live stream to my Instagram, but it didn't work. It didn't work, and you know what? That's just gonna be how it is.
This is a witness for the prosecution. It's absolutely insane. The whole case is insane because you even look at the fact that the case had 3 different judges. Yeah.
This was 5 years ago.
A bad baton.
And I had the amount of hours I had.
First judge was Judge, I don't know how to say it. I think it's Glanville, yeah. And this judge, he does seem to suck. Like he does. But he also had to put up with some stuff too, because there were jurors that were fully out of pocket during this case. Just a couple of examples. There was one juror that got picked. It already took nearly a year, by the way, to pick a jury. which is insane. And then after they pick the jury, there's one juror that during the trial started, and I think they just went to the Dominican Republic.
I have so many videos. Now we're like fighting an algorithm.
Deputies got sent to their house, were knocking on the door, everything, and then they got back. And they had to appear in court, and the judge was like, you have to be here
Sounds so
to be on the jury.
Fighting an algorithm. Fucking algorithm. Fuck the algorithm. You know that?
That sounds wildly inconvenient.
If I were on TikTok, I would probably have favorites too. But they would also be
Judge Ray
asking me random questions.
Hold this jury in contempt and was basically giving them an out because this judge in particular loved contempt. He had a lot of contempt. The entire trial full of contempt. And gave the juror a way out. He was like, look, I could send you to jail, I could fine you, but what I'm gonna have you do instead is write me a 30-page paper on the importance of being a juror. This dude sentenced her to APA style. He sentenced her to citing sources. You couldn't see his face in the moment, but even Thug was like, damn. That's cruel and unusual. I've never heard of that before. There was another judge. I don't know what happened with this person, but I had trouble for live streaming the case. Which is extra crazy because it was really being live streamed.
That's terrible.
Like if you ever watched at home, you would just see them sit with the jury like.
My YouTube, RIP my YouTube channel. Rip my YouTube channel.
You risk jail time for an extra angle. We are. There was a lot of plea deals being given out the entire case, like I said before. And some of the things that were happening was like, this is me guessing, but there were people that were not being super forthcoming. That they probably didn't necessarily have to be, but they were in some sort of trouble. And so the plea deal was just given just as an extra, it's okay, you can talk, we just need to get this guy, right? And even with that, there were still people that didn't want to testify. And then there were people that were being so difficult. State's witnesses were being so difficult that the state just could not get anywhere. You know?
Citizen.
There was one person,
streamer person.
Basically, the prosecution needed a through line. They needed something that would connect everything. And so they laid a lot of it on one person in particular.
Who is this silly bitch
on YouTube? And they needed his testimony so bad that they pretty much gave him immunity on the stand. I didn't even know you could do that. It sounds made up.
This video had no purpose. I feel like he thought it was fake. This is 40 minutes of me goofing off.
So if I say something on the stand,
how you like that?
Answering one of your questions, and it implicates Thug, but it also implicates me. I'm okay. Yeah, you're okay. You have immunity. You're on the stand. You're going to be good. You sure? Yeah, you're going to be good. Okay. I'm not even joking. He goes, okay.
Like streamers, this is like why people laugh. Like streamers when they say that their life is so hard.
Okay, but what if it's federal? And I love that. I love a good haggle. I love okay, I hear immunity, but can I get a federal? Can I get some federal? Federal, please. Can I get a little federal? Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm actually really tired.
This dude gets on the stand, and you can tell he doesn't trust it. You can tell he's like, nah, they're up to something. Doesn't want to answer any questions. But we told you have immunity. All right. Basically compelling this man to testify.
I'm actually enjoying myself.
Dangling immunity in his face. Sits on the stand. First question from the prosecutor. How old are you? He goes,
see, that's what's bad about not having any chatting. There's no one to tell me to go to bed and go eat.
The prosecutor's like, what do you mean by grown? It's like, I'm an adult. The prosecutor is like, okay, seeing as you're an adult, how many years is that? And then he goes, looks up at the judge. I plead the fifth. Truly incredible work. Truly phenomenal, They would be asking lots of questions, question after question. And it was getting frustrating for the prosecution, it was getting frustrating for the judge because, look, maybe I'm doing my best to be as fair as possible, but when you watch a case like this, it does just seem like if you're a defendant, you're up against two parties. You're up against the prosecution and you're up against the judge because everything in this case kept giving the prosecution chance, even